What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today is gonna be kind of a weird one, I guess. I haven't really filmed too much in the past few weeks. Last time you guys saw me, I still had long hair. I cut my hair almost a month ago, so it's pretty short now in case you notice that's the difference. But if not, then hey, what's up? The title of the video was not clickbait. I had to remove my bags from the car and go back to the OEM suspension, and I'm pretty sure that the manifold is what gave out. I'll give you guys a little bit of an overview. About 2 weeks ago, on a Monday morning, I was just getting ready to leave for work as usual, turned on the car, and my remote started flashing on and off for some reason, and after a few seconds it just completely went out, and I was weirded out. So I pulled out my phone, accessed the Bluetooth remote, and it said it couldn't connect to the manifold, which means that the manifold wasn't even on. So I went back there, double checked my wiring, replugged in, changed some things around, and still no avail. I contacted Airlift for technical support. They told me a few things to check. I checked a few things, I replaced fuses and whatnot, and none of that stuff worked. I had to file a warranty claim, and at the time I didn't have a multimeter, but I purchased one a few days ago. I checked the wiring, and the wiring in the back still has power. I have remote turn on connected to my radio. Not the best spot to do it, but it works. So I still get 30 volts back there. So the wiring is not the issue, I believe, unless it's the literal plug that connects to the manifold that's messed up for some reason. So manifold, I had to send it out to Airlift. I had to do a warranty claim. They're gonna see if the manifold has any type of defects or whatever. If it doesn't, I'll have to send over the wiring harness, which I really don't want to do. So that morning, my car was stuck on the ground and I could not get it up. For the next few days, I had to borrow my sister's car and take that to work, which lucky for me, she didn't have to use the car for a few days. On Wednesday morning, I got back a response. They're gonna take a few weeks to do anything about it because apparently they were backed up at the time. So I had to figure out a way to get the car up from the ground and switch out the bags for the OEM shocks and whatnot. Luckily, Bag Rider supplied me a piece. I don't know if this was how it's supposed to be used, but if it was for this purpose, that's crazy. But if it's not for that piece, it was completely coincidental and I was able to figure out a way to do it. So let me show you guys how I did that back in the trunk real quick. Alright, not entirely sure what happened here, but I must have unplugged the microphone on accident on the camera. So let me just do a quick voiceover. So alright, here I had my relays set up on extra bolts or separate ones where they weren't before. I had this one piece that looks like some type of tire valve stem or something, and it had like a T connection on it that I couldn't remove, but I have no idea what this is for. If this was for this purpose, that's amazing, and if not, I made something out of nothing. So yeah, this is how I did it. I connected two of the airlines, so basically the front at the same time or the rear at the same time, connected the top with an electrical air compressor. So what I did is I filled the rear bags with air, put them on jack stands, switched out the bags for the OEM shocks, and then I replaced the front. So that was very convenient. I apologize if I seem like I'm rambling on for too much, but just explaining some stuff. Hopefully the rest of the audio of this video doesn't sound good, but I'm going to react to it now. If you're ever on bags and something goes out, it is possible to air it up if you have an extra air compressor that can connect to something, and you have something like this that's sort of like a valve stem that connects to the line. So that was very lucky, or just happened to be exactly what I needed. So now the car is back on OEM suspension, unfortunately, and I do not miss how this car its fitment is. What is that? 4 fingers right there above the tire in the rear. Just a little bit over 3 in the front. It's hideous to look at, but it's better than not having anything at all. So that's why I don't throw away my old stuff. I even have the OEM exhaust still, which is, I think, the first thing I removed from the car. So yeah, that's an update on that stuff. Another thing which I can show you guys a few clips on is I swapped out the engine and diff mounts. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. That's the left one, the right one's over there.
Hey guys, it's me again. So yeah, microphone's bugging out again, but just trying to show you guys where the front mount is. Couldn't show it to you guys from that angle, but I'm just going to play some clips from the video recorded when I installed the mounts for the first time.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It's kind of unscheduled. I'm not really expecting to do this very well, but just got my rear diff mounts in the mail. Also, haircut, by the way. Just wanted to see if I could install them within the next hour and just take some clips and show off to you guys the process of it. So, not going to be too detailed, and we're just going to get right into it. So as you can tell right here, we got the Sport differential mounts for the rear. I already have the front mounts installed, did them last weekend. I just didn't record any of it and announce it really, but just wanted to showcase you guys what these look like. We're gonna be putting them on right now actually. So update number 1, car is up on jack stands. Got extra safety just in case. Gonna take off the sway bar, or at least the parts that connect it, so I can access the diff mounts. Quick update, so those are off. Sway bar is lowered a little bit. Now we're gonna see if I can access these real quickly. Also, it'd probably help if I bumped up the ISO and the shutter speed, so now you guys can see it a little bit easier. Alright, got one of the rears out. It's kind of stuck. I'm gonna attempt to take off the right one, and then I'm gonna take off the front and see if I can wiggle this one out, but might be a little bit of a problem with my exhaust and my lines. It's basically midnight. I just finished. I got them out. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Alright, so basically what happened before that clip is I spent about 3 or 4 hours replacing those, and I didn't take off the exhaust system, which made the job for the front diff mounts a lot more difficult than this should have been. Honestly, I should have just tried to take off the entire exhaust system, because the right front diff mount was right above the resonator, and it's an extremely tight spot. And that spot alone took me almost an hour and a half to take the thing off and an extra hour to put it on. So I actually wound up finishing the next morning because I had to retighten that bolt and make sure it was tightened all the way. So take it from me, take off the exhaust system when you're doing this, and it makes everything a lot easier. And when I was finished, I was completely exhausted and very upset, I would say.
But yeah, I swapped them out a few weeks ago. These are the Sport street motor mounts. I believe number is 61A, so the least stiff option. People complain how these ruin how your car drives, but for me personally, there's not really much of a difference except for when you're idling, and that's when vibration happens a little bit. But it's not unbearable. I kind of enjoyed it. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of enjoyed the car vibrating. It's funny. I'm also used to having a subwoofer, but it's sort of like that. It's just, some people might find it uncomfortable, especially if you daily drive it. So it's all ultimately up to you. Definitely feels a lot stiffer, and that's the only thing I've done to the car other than the bag. And even with the OEM suspension, it kind of feels a little bit different. So I forgot how this car drives.
All right, as you can tell, the mic kept on bugging out, and it got even worse during this clip, but I was just explaining again how much of a pain it was for me to install these without taking off the exhaust and the decisions I made. So this is something I would highly recommend doing if you don't really mind the vibrations at idle. It's not too much of a pain, to be honest with you. And when you're driving, you can definitely notice that the car feels a lot stiffer, which is nice. That's all I really have left to say.
So yeah, that's what's been up with the car for the past few weeks, and why I've had to not been able to really record. There was only a few things I wanted to buy up until I could get an engine for the bike, and I purchased the last thing. I'll show you guys that in a second what it is. But if I can't for whatever reason get the bags to work again, I'm gonna have no choice but to get some coils and deal with either not driving really low or dealing with my driveway, because right in front of my driveway where it's an incline, there's a speed bump and it's a really awkward position. So that is honestly the whole reason I went with bags in the first place, which is kind of funny. So now let me go ahead and show you guys what I purchased last for the car. So these arrived about a week ago. Just haven't had the chance to put them on because I've been dealing with the bag stuff, but oh damn, that's a little bit heavier than I thought. Jesus Christ. Alright, so we got some Stop Tech rotors slotted, some brake pads because I haven't swapped those out since I got the car, and I probably should have done that a while ago, and some stainless steel brake lines for the front and the rear. So there's a whole kit other than the calipers, which are a lot more expensive, but I'm not ready to put a big brake kit on this thing yet. Yeah, we'll be installing those in the next video, and we'll see how that goes. That's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Follow me on socials, link in the description, on screen, whatnot. And yeah, enjoy. Peace out.